Your cat is sitting across the room. It looks at you. For a moment, neither of you moves. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, its eyes begin to close. Not completely, just enough to soften its gaze. A second later, the eyes open again. Most people would never think twice about this moment. They would assume the cat is sleepy, relaxed, maybe even bored. But according to scientists who study animal behavior, you may have just witnessed one of the most important conversations a cat can have with a human. And almost nobody realizes it's happening. People often describe cats as mysterious creatures, independent, reserved, difficult to understand. Unlike dogs, they don't always make their emotions obvious. They don't greet every person with excitement. They don't wear their feelings on the outside. Instead, they communicate through subtle signals, tiny movements, small changes in posture, a flick of the tail, the position of the ears, and perhaps most fascinating of all, the eyes. Because hidden within a cat's eyes is a language most humans never learn to read, a language that has existed for thousands of years, long before cats lived in our homes, long before they slept on our beds, long before they became one of the most beloved animals on earth. What's remarkable is how easy it is to miss. No sound, no dramatic movement, no obvious signal demanding your attention. Just a slow movement of the eyelids. Yet hidden inside that tiny gesture is something every living creature understands. The difference between danger and safety. The difference between remaining alert and allowing yourself to relax. Imagine living in a world where every shadow matters. Every unfamiliar sound could signal a threat. Every movement must be evaluated. Every stranger must be judged before they come closer. That is the world of a cat. A world built on caution. Cats evolved as both predators and prey. They hunt smaller animals, but larger animals can hunt them. For thousands of years, survival depended on making the right decision at the right moment. Should I approach? Should I run? Should I trust? Those instincts still shape the way cats interact with the world. And that makes the slow blink far more interesting than it first appears. Because instead of maintaining intense eye contact, the cat does something unexpected. It softens it, almost as if it is lowering its guard. For a brief moment, it becomes vulnerable. To humans, closing your eyes for a second means almost nothing. But for an animal that relies on constant awareness, that moment carries weight. Scientists wanted to know whether this behavior truly had meaning. So in 2020, researchers from the University of Sussex and the University of Portsmouth decided to investigate. They asked cat owners to slowly narrow their eyes and blink in a relaxed way toward their cats. The results were fascinating. The cats were significantly more likely to return the same expression. When humans slow blinked first, cats often slow blinked back. But the researchers wanted to know one more thing. Could the same signal work with strangers? So they designed another experiment. This time, unfamiliar people interacted with the cats. People the cats had never met before. Once again, the humans performed the slow blink. And once again, many cats responded. Even more surprisingly, the cats were often more willing to approach those strangers afterward. Think about that for a moment. A tiny movement of the eyes appeared to influence how comfortable a cat felt around another individual. Not because the cat was trained, not because it was rewarded, but because the interaction may have felt safe. And that word keeps appearing throughout the story. Safe. Before an animal can rest, it must feel safe. Before it can trust, it must feel safe. Everything begins there. Perhaps that is what makes the slow blink so meaningful. It may represent a moment when a cat decides that vigilance is no longer necessary, at least for now. To understand why, think about the opposite behavior. A hard stare creates pressure. Many animals interpret prolonged eye contact as a challenge. The slow blink does the opposite. It keeps the connection while removing the threat. It says, "I see you," without saying, "I am challenging you." The next time your cat looks at you from across the room, try something simple. Don't stare. Don't move closer. Simply soften your eyes. Slowly blink. Then wait. You might receive nothing at all. Or you might see the gesture returned. A quiet moment of trust. And if your cat blinks back, don't rush to call it love. But remember this. For one brief moment, an animal built for caution decided it didn't need to be cautious around you. And sometimes, trust says more than words ever could.